Hey everybody, it's me as always, your host Gambit896, and I'm back with another video for you guys. Today I'll be reviewing Hawkeye, Volume 1, My Life as a Weapon. The series is written by Matt Fraction and is published by Marvel under their Marvel Now initiative. And on this first volume we have David Aja and Javier Pulido. David Aja does the artwork on issues 1 through 3, and Javier Pulido does the artwork on issues 4 and 5, and we also have some material collected from Young Avengers Presents issue number 6, which is again written by Fraction, and on the artwork we have Alan Davis. The colorist for the first 5 issues of Hawkeye is Matt Hollingsworth, and on Young Avengers issue number 6, Mark Farmer is the inker, and Paul Mounts is the colorist. So the story starts out and we have Hawkeye seamlessly falling out of a window, which this scene looks as if it was directly lifted out of the 2012 The Avengers film, or Avengers Assemble, depending on where you are in the world, but still a really cool nod to the character of Hawkeye. This is my second exposure to Matt Fraction as a writer. I'd read one of the first arcs of his Iron Man run before the Marvel Now initiative started, with artist Salvatore LaRocca, but this is my first exposure to both David Aja and Javier Pulido as artists. If I had to describe the premise of this book to you, it's basically following the life and event of an Avenger on the days when he's not being an Avenger. So we follow Hawkeye, aka Clint Barton. In this first issue, he's trying to help out his neighbours in his apartment building, as unfortunately the landlord, who's a pretty unscrupulous character, has decided to seamlessly triple their rent, and so if they can't pay their rent, then unfortunately they are going to be evicted from the building. So this then leads Hawkeye to seamlessly intervene and try to basically get the landlord to play nice, which leads Hawkeye to a backroom poker game where he tries to track down the landlord, which he does, and he says to the landlord, he says, "Look, I've got the money for everybody's rent in the building. It's either you take it and you leave everybody alone, including myself, or you make something out of it." So Hawkeye says, "Look, if I draw the ace of spades, you take the money and you don't bother the people anymore, or I don't draw the ace of spades, you take the money, but then everybody leaves the apartment building." So then Hawkeye draws the ace of spades, and the landlord says, "I don't accept your money." And Hawkeye just turns around and says, "I wasn't asking." So then he throws the ace of spades at one of the goons, which leads to a really cool action scene and a really cool fisticuff between the landlord and some of his goons, which may have ties to the Russian mafia, as they're part of the gang called the Tracksuit Draculas, as you can see there and there. At the end of the first issue we have Hawkeye seamlessly adopting a dog, which we see play a pivotal role in towards the end of the first issue. One of the things I really like about these first 3 issues, in the first 5 issues collected in this first volume, is they all feel like little mini vignette stories, or basically one and done single issue stories. But I imagine over the course of this series they're going to tie into a much larger story that Matt Fraction wants to tell with the character of Hawkeye. We also get introduced to the female Hawkeye, which is Kate Bishop, who is seamlessly Hawkeye's partner in crime. She became the superhero known as Hawkeye when Hawkeye was going down kind of a dark path, and became this, I don't know if he was an anti-hero or what, but he became the individual known as Ronin, and so Kate Bishop seamlessly took up the mantle of Hawkeye with the bow, the arrow, the name, and the attitude as well. So this then leads, in issue 2, we have Clint and Kate attending a magic show, where it turns out that the magician and his fellow actors within this magic show are all thieves who are trying to, quote-unquote, thieve from the actual thieves. And we get some really cool inner monologue moments and some snippets of Hawkeye's past, for instance growing up in a circus, and the fact that this new magician that's been on the scene is the new Swordmaster, and it's alluded to that one of the previous individuals who took up the mantle of the Swordmaster is actually Hawkeye's mentor. Not this new individual that we meet in this issue, but a previous individual who took up the mantle of the Swordmaster. And then with issue 3, we have a really cool chase scene between Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and an unfortunate assailant that Hawkeye has managed to get on the right side of, shall we say, in one of my favourite American muscle cars, which is the 1970 Dodge Challenger, which looks just absolutely beautiful, and I really want to own one of these cars one day. And we also see some of the really cool trick arrows that Hawkeye employs. For instance, here we see Hawkeye trying to get Kate to respect a boomerang arrow, which seamlessly, when you fire it, obviously on the principle of a boomerang, it comes back to you. But that plays a really cool and key role in the story later on. There's also some really cool shots of Hawkeye just showing off how much of a badass and how proficient he is with a bow and arrow, as you can see there. There's some great witty banter and some great dialogue exchanges between Clint and Kate during the chase scene, which just makes for some really laugh out loud funny humour moments, especially when somebody, I'm guessing it's the tracksuit Draculas, break into this young lady's apartment who Hawkeye wants to buy the Challenger off, and there's a really cool, really funny moment of Hawkeye jumping out of the way to avoid all the bullets, as you can see there. I just thought that was a really, really fun, generally laugh out loud moment on the part of both David Aja and Matt Hollingsworth. And here we see, as I'll show you, here's the scene where the boomerang arrow comes into play, as you can see there. Then with issues 4 and 5, we have the introduction of Javier Pulido on the artwork, who is again no slouch, and the artwork by both David Aja and Javier Pulido is absolutely fantastic. In issues 4 and 5, we have Hawkeye journeying to a country called, oops, I nearly dropped the book then, to Mandapore, to seamlessly win back a tape of Hawkeye supposedly committing a political assassination on orders from S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's at a auction where various different villains from the Marvel Universe will pay anything to get their hands on this tape. And so Hawkeye runs afoul of one of the attendees of this auction, Madam Mask, as you can see there. Again, there's some really cool laugh out loud funny moments on the part of Fraction, through his writing and through the dialogue exchanges between the characters. And in this auction, we have some really cool villains in attendance. For instance, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, Madam Hydra, and Madam Mask, as you can see there. And again, there's some really cool action scenes in this. For instance, we have, let me see if I can show you, where's the page? Ah, here it is. Here we see Clint and Kate trying to make their escape from their would-be captors. Clint turns around to Kate and says, where's the tape? In the room where I left it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and they run back towards their captors and proceed to beat, to beat them to a pulp, shall we say. And they then get back the tape and make their escape. There's some really cool character moments where Kate asks him at the beginning of issue 4, have you ever killed anybody? And Clint just kind of eludes the question and doesn't really give an answer. And we find out the true reasoning behind this tape at the end of issue 5. And then with issue Young Avengers Presents issue number 6, this focuses more on Kate Bishop and one of her fellow Young Avengers teammates, Eli, or Patriot, who's seamlessly trying to ask her out, which initially Kate kind of rebuffs him, which leads to some really kind of awkward and just Kate feeling a little bit hurt by Eli. And then we have a really cool kind of, we're treated to the first meeting between Hawkeye or Clint and Kate Bishop, who basically says to her, you may have my name, my bow, and the skills, but you also need to keep earning the right to carry the mantle of Hawkeye. And there's some really great, again, character moments and dialogue exchanges between her and Clint, and especially towards the end as well. And there's a really cool relationship moment again between both Eli or Patriot and Kate Bishop as well. If you're not reading Hawkeye in single issues, I highly recommend you pick up the first trade, or pick up the trades if nothing else. The writing by Matt Fraction in this is absolutely fantastic, coupled with equally on-par artwork from both David Aja, Javier Pulido, and Alan Davis, and also the inkers Matt Hollingsworth, Mark Farmer and Paul Mounts all do fantastic jobs at bringing each of the respective artists' artwork to life. If you're a fan of Hawkeye, if you're a Marvel fan, if you're looking for a really cool, really fantastic and fun series to get into with the Marvel Now initiative, I highly recommend Hawkeye. If I had to give this first volume a rating, I'd give it an absolute 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. And that about concludes this review video, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. But as I always say, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section, or send me a private message telling me why you didn't like the video. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos and you'd like to see more, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.